How's it going, everyone? Data here, and welcome back to the Seattle Kraken franchise mode, episode number 26 here on NHL 22, moving into the year number 6, 2027 postseason. In the last one, we had a very strong second half of the season. We were kind of a fringe team in the Pacific at one point. We went on a fantastic run in the second half, finishing second in the Pacific and 8th, I believe, in the NHL with 100 points, with a record of 45, 27, and 10, largely in part to a huge blockbuster deal where we decided to bolster the blue line, make a deal, move some of our prospects and picks. You know, we have an embarrassment of riches almost. It's good to use some of those pieces for your benefit, not just let some grow and others kind of just die out. We went out and acquired a big name on the trade block who was on a very bad team, a player who's likely going to move in soon in the real world, in Jacob Chikrin. 29 years of age now in 2027, 87 overall. He played 23 games with us, and in those 23 games scored 11 points, a much higher pace than he's normally used to, and was a +9. He was very strong for us defensively. He bolstered that first pair with Pulak, allowed the second pair to be a bit stronger, and the third pair as well, as everyone was bumped down a little bit. Yerchek, Bear, Kozlov, Miller doing very well. Goaltending wise, of course, we have Peyton Hollywood Wilm, now backed up by 40-year-old Ben Bishop. Matt Murray was not cutting it, so Ben Bishop is here for one last ride. Last time he played in the playoffs in the NHL, he went 14-4-2 with 3 shutouts and a .931 save percentage, 2.09 goals against average to capture the 2025 Stanley Cup. Yeah, by the way, we are back-to-back Stanley Cup champions, defending Stanley Cup champions, that is, and we are looking for the three-peat to be the first team to accomplish that since the Islanders of the 80s. So we have a very strong team, of course. Nathan McKinnon, another 100-point season after last year's Hart and Art Ross, Ted Lindsay, and all that good stuff. Great performances, not as great as last year, but still very solid from Marco Beniers, Tuck. Schwartz did okay as well at 4 years of age now. Our captain, Vladimir Tarasenko, had a down year, but the guy's 35 now. The prospects are getting more pressure. They got to do more. Popov, Moss, Mercer, these are the names of the future, Rosean, and we're looking forward to them showing up here in the playoffs. But if they don't, we do have the veterans, but this is probably the last year that we'll be playing with Schwartz, Trocheck, maybe even Tarasenko, not sure, as there will be a changing of the guard over the offseason. But before we get to all of that, I am pumped. We are looking for the three-peat 2027 postseason, and it starts now against the Anaheim Ducks. Let's hit the comments section. Starting off with Rocky Mountain Russian, who says, "Let's go Kraken." Moss had a good year with no power play time. He needs to be on the power play with those numbers. He had 18 goals and 33 points through his rookie year here. I would switch Miller up to the second pair, Keandre Miller. Totally deserves it with his numbers. Other than that, let's go. So Chris Moss does have the 5-star shooting, and that was his 18 goals in this rookie season as an 80 overall, came when playing in the middle 6. Add in some power play time. I could see him fitting in here if we possibly took off Mercer or Popov. I'll see who, or maybe even Yerchek, I don't know. But I'm going to try and fit him in for sure, taking that suggestion. The other comment there to swap up Miller to the second pair. He's not on the third pair because he hasn't been good, because he's been great. He had a 24-point season. He was a +16. He's played in now 3 full seasons with us. He's been very good. Signed for 1 more year after this one. And if we do move him up, it gives the line chemistry a crazy boost as it goes to +2 and +3 on the third pair. It's just that we wanted to maximize David Yerchek's ice time as a player with medium league potential who's trying to get as much growth as possible. But for the playoffs, I can see this being something that we can swallow for the entirety of a season. Wouldn't want to restrict that ice time, but I think heading into the playoffs, we can start with Keandre Miller playing with his usual line mate in Ethan Bear. So most people said not to make any line changes, but I think that that's a very minor one. Well, you know, worst case, we go back to it, but we'll start like that. Miller was very strong defensively this season, and Yerchek wasn't great, so then, you know, there's the argument, play him with a better player to make him better, or put him on the third pair and the pair suffers more, but we'll keep an eye on that. Moving now to Vinny's comment, who says, maybe keep everything as it is for now, but don't be afraid to make changes. An example being to move Schwartz and Tarasenko to that second line for more of a veteran presence if the team is performing badly in the playoffs. Great job, Data. Let's go for the three-peat. So in the last 2 Stanley Cup runs, we've had the second line be Schwartz, Trocheck, and Tarasenko. And that's been an amazing line for us. Vladimir Tarasenko in the playoffs always shows up. He's the captain of this team. He had 32 points in our first cup run that got him the Conn Smythe. 16 points, admittedly much less than 32, half of 32 in fact, only 6 goals, but still big presence for us on that second line. Jaden Schwartz is about point per game in the playoffs as well. So if need be, no problem, we'll get the veterans up there, but we got to start giving the rookies, the prospects, a little more leash, wean them off being able to be just, okay, slot him down and then someone else can come up, because the day is coming soon where there's not going to be anyone else to slot up there. That will be their permanent spot in the lineup, and they have to figure it out. Jackson's loving Ben Bishop, saying that he is an absolute legend, first ever member of the Kraken Hall of Fame. That's definitely going to happen when he retires. If I'm not mistaken, the top 4 in the Atlantic were all above 100 points. Absolutely ruthless. Great move for Chikrin and moving Bishop in for Murray. Ultimately, the road to a 3rd consecutive cup will likely go through Edmonton, a behemoth, a juggernaut of a team, which will be a difficult opponent despite how good our team is looking. Don't be afraid to try some different combinations or even turning to Ben, Dominic, Hasek, Bishop, depending on how the flow of each game goes. Looking forward to the playoffs. Thank you very much, Jackson. And Michael also saying, keep the team as is, but make adjustments as necessary. Bishop is a must as a backup. Just that presence on the bench, The West will be the murderous row for a three-peat, but the Kraken has the squad to do it. Let's get Kraken lacking. Couldn't have said it better myself, Michael. So that's just about it for the suggestions. Lots of jubilation and excitement in the comments section. People who are ready for the playoffs. So I hope you have your tickets. I hope you are sitting comfortably in the Assistant GMs booth here at Climate Pledge Arena. We'll keep the lines as is, making the K'Andre Miller swap as well. I will make a special team swap just on the power play. We'll try giving Chris Moss some time. The player coming out will be Vitaly Popov, so Chris Moss will replace him on the second power play unit. But we won't be afraid to make changes as need be, because these prospects, they showed up last playoffs, I do have to say. Roseyan last year in the playoffs, 15 points in 22 games. Dawson Mercer last year in the playoffs, 10 points in 22 games? Not bad. And Popov had 1 goal and 14 assists for 15 points through 22 games. So if they can continue that playmaking ability, if add in the defense of Jake Chikrin, a fully healthy Peyton Hollywood-Wilm up to an 88 overall, this is a scary team here in Seattle, and it's not going to be easy. It starts off against the Anaheim Ducks. We can't underestimate them, but we do know that teams like the Edmonton Oilers are going to be very difficult if we do end up going up against them. Looking at the Ducks lineup here, Teravainen, Zegras, and Puljujärvi is their first line. A pretty scary first line, especially with that growth rate there. Zegras had a 91. Second line is Matthew Boldy with Ilya Chubarov, the 4th round pick in 2025, and Brian Rust. Third line, Jordan Dumais, Isaac Lundstrom, and Benoit Olivier Groulx. Fourth line, interesting, Maxime Comtois, Nick Schmaltz, and Warren Foegele. Defense, they have Goalie Drysdale, Fowler at a 79 overall, 35 years of age, Parayko with him, and third pair is Pierre-Olivier Joseph with Victor Mete. Goaltending, they have John Gibson, 87 overall, 33 years of age, backed up by Jonas Korpisalo. Scratches, Tracy, 82 overall, Max Domi, former Seattle Kraken, and Radek Faksa. So it's a very solid lineup here in Anaheim. They have a good team that had only 1 less win than us in the regular season, going 44 I think they had? 44, 28, and 10, finishing off the year with a record of 7-3-0 as well. So we cannot underestimate them, but we're hoping for a long episode here. If you are new to the channel, you'll see that this episode is over an hour long, maybe an hour 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, I don't know how, maybe even 2 hours. I always try to keep it random because we could be done in 30 minutes, and I'll just put an hour of a black screen because I don't want it to be spoiled. So you'll be reacting live with me. Who knows how long this playoff run will be, but we do know that we are going for a three-peat, and it all starts in Game 1, Round 1 at home, Climate Pledge Arena, Anaheim Ducks. Let's hit it. First period of this postseason, Trevor Zegras opening up on the power play. 1 goal on 10 shots against Peyton Wilm. Second period now, and it's 1-1. Matty Beniers with the first goal of the 2027 postseason. Shots tied at 18 through 40, and we have a tie game. Power play Seattle early, 5-on-3, and Alex Tuch, that second unit, scores, and we are now up 2-1. Power play Anaheim now the other way, 5-on-3, 5-on-4. We kill all of those off. Halfway through this third period, hang on to a 1-goal lead, and Moss on the power play. Chris Moss. Let's go. 3-1 Kraken, 2-goal lead, both coming on the power play. The line change paid off. Yes, that's a huge one. That's why I pay the assistant GMs so much for comments like those. Shots end 31-31, but Peyton Wilm makes 30, yes, exactly 30 saves. Moss with a goal and an assist. Alex Tuch with a game-winning goal. Great performances all around, and we take game 1, 3-1 the final. Huge power play presence there from that second unit, and Chris Moss in his playoff debut here in his rookie season, scoring a goal and an assist at home in front of the fans. That's big. That really says something about Chris Moss, and he is just a pure sniper through and through. Oh boy, let's keep this momentum rolling into game 2, up 1-0 in the series. First period, and it's 2-1 Ducks. Teravainen and then Zegras scoring about just a couple minutes after each other, as all 3 goals in the series from Anaheim have come from their first line. But the captain, Vladimir Tarasenko, does get us back in this game. We're down 2-1 headed into the second period. Our captain giving us some life. Second period now, and Matthew Boldy puts the Ducks up by 2. We won 3-1 last game, and now we find ourselves down 3-1. Headed into the third period. Power play Anaheim early. We kill that off, get a power play of our own killed off, and we're back to 5-on-5. We're out shooting Anaheim 26-22. Another power play opportunity, and this time it's Nathan McKinnon bringing us within 1, and then Isaiah Marco tying it up. Excuse me, update file came over his name. I couldn't see him for a second. And just like that, 2 huge goals a couple minutes apart, and this game is all tied up at 3 with just 6 minutes left to go. Shots 33-24 in our favor. We're pulling away offensively, but we're still tied. Final minute of play, and we're headed to overtime. Shots 33-25 with 2 huge third period goals from our first liners, McKinnon and Marco. We are now headed to overtime. Overtime action here in Seattle. A goal for the Kraken will put us up 2-0 in this series, taking both games at home and put us in the driver's seat of this series. But a goal for Anaheim will send them back home with some momentum and make this best of 7 now a best of 5. Offensive zone face-off here. McKinnon against Zegras. McKinnon wins it back to Pulock. To Tuch on net. Almost trickles through. McKinnon, Tuch in front, broken up by Zegras. Puljujärvi now bringing it back the other way. Buffalo Sabres series legend Jesse Puljujärvi broken up. Chikrin, McKinnon up to Alex Tuch now. Can't quite get it out of the zone. No, it's broken up on the blue line. Teravainen in tight. Great save from Peyton Wilm on the doorstep. Offensive zone faceoff now for Matty Beniers. Wins it back to the point. Ethan Bear to Keandre Miller. Popov, Schwartz. Can't quite get a shot off. Miller, Beniers, good cycling here. Ethan Bear to Keandre Miller. The one-timer is broken up by Boldy. Puljujärvi, big kick save there from Peyton Wilm. Puljujärvi, a legend in the NHL 20 Buffalo Sabres series. Lundstrom can't get it on net. With that, he will get tripped up, and that means a power play for Anaheim. Lundstrom, a legend in the Anaheim Ducks series in NHL 20 as well. Isaiah Marco, 2-4 tripping right there. Let's see it. Yeah, he was about to take the shot and got tripped up. His knee pretty much dislocated out of its socket, came up to his chin. And I'll do a power play for the Ducks now. Ducks are 0 for 3 with 4 shots on the night on the power play. Nice snap there from Zegras, gloved by Wilm. Can't quite get out. Teravainen's going to fight for it. Chubarov just wide. Zegras now with lots of space to Teravainen off the post. And Wilm will squeeze the wickets together to keep that one held. Good opportunity for Anaheim. Ducks win that back final seconds of their power play now. And we're back to even strength. Zegras to the point. Parayko, hold on, out of the box. No one's going to be there. Parayko skating back now. Only about 3 minutes left to go here in overtime. 3.5. And it is still tied at 3 with not much coming from us. Since we have to kill off that penalty. Here's Tuch and Marco, though. Isaiah Marco, a stick coming out of nowhere. Zegras, Chubarov, Teravainen, wide open lane, and it's a glove save from Wilm. We've just been falling apart out here. The EA AI has been something else in this overtime. I've cut out a lot to save you the misery, but I've been sitting through a lot of ugly stuff. Offensive zone face-off with just over 30 seconds to go. Trocheck wins it back to Miller. Across to Ethan Bear. Tarasenko from a short angle gets a one-timer, and Gibson gets a shoulder on it. Another offensive zone face-off with 18 seconds to go now. Trocheck wins it again to Ethan Bear. Wide open lane, scores! Ethan Bear's first goal of the playoffs, and the Kraken win it in overtime. Woo! Boy, what a long overtime that was. Great face-off win by Vinny Trocheck. That's why we pay him the big bucks to win those face-offs. Bear walks in and just snipes it. Ethan Bear, one of the longest serving players on the team now. He's been a huge piece of this franchise. Definitely a candidate for an alternate captaincy should Jaden Schwartz be moving on next season, which is very likely. Great snipe over John Gibson, great celly, and the fans are going wild here in Seattle. It was a tough overtime to watch. I know it was easy for you with all of my power of video editing, as 2BC would say, but shots ended 41-39 in our favor, and Ethan Bear gets the game-winning goal to put us up 2-0 in this series. So with 4 assists in 2 games, Vinny Trocheck is now leading the team in playoff points. 2 big wins at home, and we're headed to Anaheim now. The Honda Center up 2-0. Very, very fortunate to have that big overtime winner from Ethan Bear. Let's hop right into it because I want to get simming after sitting through that long overtime. Game 3 on the road, first period, 2-0 Kraken. Dawson Mercer opening it up, and Vitaly Popov making it 2-0. The sophomores are out here. Shots 15-10 for Anaheim, but we're up 2-0. Second period now, and it's 3-0 as Matty Beniers puts us up by another. 3-0 Kraken headed into this third period, and Anaheim's going to have to start fighting hard in front of their home fans if they want a chance in this game before it becomes a runaway. We're just 1 goal away from that happening, I think, and it might be too late for the Ducks, as there it is. Ethan Bear, second in the playoffs. Matthew Boldy comes right back. Now they're down by 3. 9 minutes to go. Power play Seattle, killed off by the Ducks. Under 5 to go, still up by 3. They're getting their shots on net, but Peyton Hollywood Wilm is fighting hard, and that'll be a 4-1 victory for the Kraken. Shots 32-29 for the Ducks in the end, but Peyton Wilm, first star honors, 31 saves, a goal and an assist from Matty Beniers, and 3 assists from the veteran Jaden Schwartz. Gotta love that guy. 3-0 is the series lead for the Kraken now, and we are 1 game away from calling it a sweep. Let's see if we can get that done on Anaheim's home ice. Just call it a series, get some extra rest, and get ready for the next one. Game 4, round 1, Honda Center. Vinny Trocheck, 5 assists in 3 games. Let's see him continue this pace. First period, 1-1. Jake Chikrin scoring his first playoff goal as a Kraken, and his first playoff goal in years since he hasn't seen much action with the Coyotes. Cam Fowler, though, old man Fowler, power play goal to tie it up soon after. Actually, it was like 12 minutes after. Second period now, 3-2 Ducks as Chris Moss, there he is, scoring on the power play. But then Gru and Teravainen score about 3 minutes apart. We're down 3-2. 3 goals on 20 shots past Wilm. Not his usual, 30 saves on 31 shots, but still good enough to have us only be down by 1 into this third period. We only need 1 power play. This could do it right here, but it's killed off by the Ducks. We still have 10 minutes left to go. Shots 34-27. Another power play now, killed off once again. 5 minutes to go. We're killing them in the shots, but Anaheim is standing tall. John Gibson's making the saves. That's a well-deserved win by the Ducks, gotta say. Shots 39-30 in our favor. Anaheim takes it 3-2. John Gibson makes 37 saves. He's a great goalie, John Gibson, so he was bound to steal one for the Ducks, and making it a 3-1 series, giving the home fans something to be happy about. But now we'll go back home to Seattle and look to close it out in game number 5. The Avalanche swept through the Stars. Oilers are up 3-2 over the Sharks, and Preds up 3-2 over the Vegas Golden Knights. Let's see if we can finish it off here at Climate Pledge Arena. More of the same, boys. Let's do it. First period, 2-0 Kraken. Schwartz and Marco on the power play. 2-0 and 19 shots through 20 minutes. How about that? Whew. Second period, now 5-1. Maxime Comtois scores on the power play to bring Anaheim within 1, but then Tuck, Chikrin, and McKinnon scoring 3 goals in about 6 minutes. the first liners, the first pair defense, the big boys coming out. Let those big dogs eat. Shots 28-21 in our favor. We're up by 4. 5-1 is the score, and that looks to just be about all she wrote. 6-1 now, Matty Beniers, and the Kraken will be going on to the second round with a 5-game victory against the Ducks. Do we have more to add? Is the extra point going to be good, or do we settle for the touchdown? Shots 35-29. The Ducks have been here offensively, but Peyton Wilm has been a brick wall. 29 saves on 30 shots, and we end this one 6-1 the final. Isaiah Marco and Matty Beniers with a goal and 2 assists apiece. 29 saves from Peyton Hollywood Wilm, and that is a 6-1 victory for 5 games to make it through the Anaheim Ducks. The Oilers and the Sharks are going to 7. How about that? So are the Predators and the Golden Knights. We'll take a pause right here before we see who we're going to take on next and just quickly look at our points through those 5 games. So through 5 games, we have 3 players with 6 points. Beniers, Tuck, and Marco all looking great. McKinnon, Chikrin, and Trocheck are all point per game. Chikrin, I'm pretty surprised to see 2 goals and 5 points. He is not known for his goal scoring as he's what? I don't know, averages like 3 to 6 goals a year in the simulation usually. In the playoffs, he has not been here since 2023-24 when he went pretty deep with the Coyotes. He's excited to have some playoff opportunities now with the Kraken, so that's looking fantastic. Moss and Schwartz with 4 points apiece. Ethan Bear with a couple goals. Tarasenko only a goal and an assist. Mercer with the goal. Popov a goal. Miller an assist. Yurchek also an assist. No points for Pulak, Gambrel, or Rosen, or Kozlov. But he's a +4, Kozlov is. Goaltending, Peyton Wilm, 4-1-0 with a .944 save percentage in that series. 1.69 goals against average. Could not ask for any more from Peyton Wilm. But now we're excited to see who our opponent will be in round number 2. This is going to have huge implications for who goes on to represent the Western Conference in the Stanley Cup Finals. So let's check it out. In round number 2, the Seattle Kraken will be taking on the Edmonton Oilers. Oh, San Jose couldn't get it done for us. Oh my goodness. This is going to be a series for the ages, ladies and gentlemen. So barely squeaking out the 7-game victory against San Jose. It'll be Nashville and Colorado in the other series. Like I said, though, I think the winner of Edmonton-Seattle goes on to represent the West and possibly even wins the Stanley Cup. This is going to be a good one. In the East, it's Islanders versus Red Wings and the classic Bruins and Leafs. I don't got to say anything about the regular season Edmonton Oilers. They went, 56, 19, and 7. Wild team. Let's check out their lines. Here we go. Let's see it. First line, Draisaitl, McDavid, and Hyman. 96, 96, 88. 6 goals and 5 assists through 7 games for Draisaitl. 5 goals, 7 assists for McDavid. 3 goals, 4 assists for Zach Hyman. Second line, Yamamoto, Nugent-Hopkins, and Krinkovic. Third line, Peyton Krebs, Scott Lawton, and Jesper Fast. Fourth line, Shiri, Kurashev, and Riley Tufte. Defensively, they have Darnell Nurse with Evan Bouchard, Tyson Barrie with Devon Toews, Devontays, and Jake Bean. That's true. We traded Bean to the Oilers. Good old Jake Bean, who couldn't find a spot in the Kraken lineup, goes to Edmonton, scores 17 points, and is a +19 through 81 games, and now has third-pair minutes against his old team. 1 assist through 7 games playing with Philip Broberg. Wow. Goaltending, they have Olivier Rodrigue and Freddie Anderson. Looks like Rodrigue's playing the majority. Both have really good numbers, though. Both 81 overall. Scratches are Lindell, Lizotte, and Couty. My goodness, this is going to be a strong team. This one's being broadcast on every sporting network available. Fans are excited to see this one. The ticket prices went up the second that they beat San Jose. May 1st, 2027. Rogers Place. We're starting this one off on the road, which is rare for us in a playoff series. Game 1, round 2. In Edmonton. Let's get this party started. Not touching the lines. We had great success against the Ducks. Let's keep it as is. Showtime. First period, 1-0 Seattle. Chris Moss, there he is. In the final 27 seconds of the period, puts us up 1-0. Shots 15-10 for the Kraken. In the regular season, we had a lot of time getting shots against the Oilers. Wilm set a new franchise single-game record for most saves in a game with 48, as we lost, 2-1 in overtime once, if I remember correctly. But regardless, second period now, 3-1. Okay, Keandre Miller and Dawson Mercer make it 3-0. But then Jesper Fast with the final minute and a half brings Edmonton, gives them some life, basically. They're now only down by 2 as we lead 3-1, shots 27-18 into the final 20 minutes of this first game of this series. We hit 30 shots right there before Edmonton hit 20. So we're really coming out here full. Isaiah Marco 4-1, full steam ahead, all guns blazing. 36-26 right now. Krebs, though, giving the Oilers a little bit of life, but Gambrell comes in and slashes it away with his first of the entire postseason. Krebs almost had it. Fast, too little, too late pretty much there for the Oilers. They do score 3 goals on 33 shots, but we score 5 on 37 to win 5-3 the final. Fast and Krebs getting first and second star, whatever. Dylan Gambrell, goal and assist for third star honors, and we lead this series 1-0. This is going to be a nail biter through and through, so let's just get on to game number 2. Still on the road in Edmonton. That's a huge win on the road. If we could take both, even one is great, but if we could take both on the road before coming back home for games 3 and 4, that would be a huge advantage. First period now, and it's 2-1 Edmonton. McKinnon opens up the scoring, but then Connor McDavid is not going to sit back after no goals from him or Draisaitl in that first game. Back-to-back power play goals about a couple minutes apart from each other. Who's taking these penalties here that we have 2 power play goals against? Bear hooking, Chikrin goalie interference. What's he doing down there? And slashing to Marco. All right. Shots 13-6 through 20. Second period now. Oh my goodness. McDavid gets a hat trick before minute 26. Pulak gets one for us, but then Hyman, Tufte, and Krebs going on a run. Marco trying to stop the bleeding there, but we are down 6-3 through 40. Shots 26-14 for Edmonton. Those are the Edmonton Oilers that we remember. Down by 3 in the third period. Not insurmountable, but we got to get started soon. 5 minutes in, Connor McDavid scores his 4th goal of the night. 7 goals on 29 shots, and Peyton Wilm getting hung out to dry. Not his 9th. Rosein, his first of the postseason, brings us back within 3, but once again, probably too little too late, as we're down by 3 with under 5 to go, and that'll be all she wrote in game number 2 as we drop this one 7-4 the final, being outshot 33-23. I'm surprised we got 4 on 23, but 4 goals from McDavid, 4 assists from Draisaitl, 3 assists from Barrie. It makes sense. The players like that are going to show up, and you gotta. Part of you has to accept it, but at the same time, you gotta have your own players step up as well, because they're going to score, but your guys need to score as well. We'll keep Wilman nets for sure after he got shellacked there for 7 goals, but Ben Bishop, he's ready to go if need be. Game 3 back at home at Climate Pledge Arena. It is a 1-1 series, and it now becomes a best of 5, and it starts here at home. First period action, 3-3. A lot of scoring there. McDavid opens up the scoring with another goal. Kernikovic coming right back about 3.5 minutes later. 2-0 Edmonton. But then McKinnon comes back. Kernikovic's second of the night. And then McKinnon, bang, bang, first period hat trick. How do you like that? So Kernikovic has 2 and McKinnon has 3 through 20 minutes. What a night here for Nathan McKinnon with a hat trick. It was actually within, 13 minutes and 49 seconds? Look, what a night. That's probably some sort of postseason record. 3-3 game after 20. Second period now, 5-3. Matty Beniers and the captain, Vladimir Tarasenko. Shots tied at 25, but we are up by 2, 5-3, and we cannot sit back here. We got to keep adding to it because Edmonton's going to be pushing hard. Kernikovic looking for the hat trick. McDavid wants more with 5 goals in 2 games. Power play Seattle killed off by Edmonton. 6-3 Matty Beniers with his second of the night. That's exactly what we needed, Matty. Thank you very much. And that will likely be enough with under 5 to go. Yes, it will be. 6-3 the final. Shots 36-33 in our favor. High offensive, high octane offense here. Beniers with 2 goals and assists gets first star honors. McKinnon with the hat trick. And Alex Tuch 3 assists as we put ourselves up 2-1 in this series. So it's been a lot of offense in this series as the winning team in the last 3 games have scored at least 5 goals, 5, 6, and 7, or 5, 7, and 6 in the last 3 games. We're headed to Game 4, up 2-1 in this series and looking to take both games at home. We don't want to lose it and make it a best of 3 with Edmonton having 2 of those 3 games at their own, at Rogers Arena. So let's try and put a lot of effort into this one. I know we're running on fumes almost with the amount of offense that we're putting out here. We're running at a high octane gasoline level. Gas is not cheap, and we're trying to put more in the tank. Let's do it. First period, 3-0. Let's go! Gas is down to $1.68 in Seattle. Mercer, McKinnon, and Beniers on the power play, and we just filled up the tank. In Canada, that would be a great price right now. It's like $1.80 or whatever. Mercer, McKinnon, and Beniers were up 3-0. 3 goals on 10 shots in the first 20 minutes. Second period, looks like the Oilers found that gas station a little bit because Draisaitl and then Tufte scoring 2 goals in a couple minutes away from each other. Shots 24-18 in our favor. We're up by 1 headed into this third period. Only allowed 18 shots against though, but it doesn't really matter if we allowed the same amount of goals as we have scored. We kill off a power play, which is fantastic. Halfway through this third period, we're still holding on to our 1-goal lead, and I'm looking at Moss to add to it. I'm looking at Tarasenko to add to it on the two ends of the spectrum there, the rookie and the veteran. Or we can just hang on and win 3-2. That's okay with me as well. Okay, why not? Popov throwing an empty netter. McDavid scoring with a second left. And the shots end 35-35, and we win 4-3. Thank goodness that empty netter was added. Popov, he turns into the game-winning goal, gets first star honors for his empty net. 2 assists from Isaiah Marco and a goal from Matty Beniers. 4-3, the lowest scoring game of the series so far, and we are headed to Edmonton with a 3-1 series lead. Excuse me, not Rogers Arena, Rogers Place. My apologies. This is huge, my friends. This is huge. With the opportunity to close out the Oilers in 5 games. It doesn't feel like it because these have been tight, high-scoring affairs. But we have the opportunity to do that on the road in Edmonton against the very scary Edmonton Oilers. McDavid's been wild. Draisaitl hasn't scored much, but he's been involved. And after that top 6, it hasn't been much from the Oilers. So if we can continue to shut down their top 6, score at our own pace, and do what we know we can do, we would certainly be able to end it here in Edmonton tonight. First period action, 2-2 game. Jaden Schwartz opens it up. Nugent Hopkins and Bouchard on the power play, a few minutes apart from each other. And then thankfully, Vinny Trocheck, with just about a minute to go in the period, ties it up at 2, despite being outshot 19-10. What? The Oilers are not going gently into the night here. Second period, and it's 3-2. Alex Tuch, that first line's coming through, was a bit of the, the outcast, one of these things is not like the other on that first line during the regular season. But Tuch has been great here in the playoffs, puts us up 3-2. Despite being outshot 28-18, we're up by 1, and now up by 2 as Dawson Mercer scores another one. He's been great in the playoffs so far. Power play killed off by the Oilers, and they are pushing hard now. Already over 30 shots, but power play again for us. Once again killed off by the Oilers. We've been having a few opportunities, and we're letting the Oilers get back in this. Under 5 to go. Still up by 2. Is this the dagger? With under a minute to go, yes! What a series. Shots end 36-32. Peyton Wilm makes 35 saves, I guess. Really? I don't even know what's happening. 35 saves. That was 36 shots against. But first star honors, 945 save percentage, 2 assists from Matty Beniers. Game-winning goal goes to Alex Tuch. And we have eliminated the Edmonton Oilers. The 56-win Edmonton Oilers in 5 games. How do you like us now? That is huge for this team and a huge roadblock in that was keeping us from our 3rd consecutive Stanley Cup. Now having passed through that, can we go all the way? Wow, through these 10 games, Isaiah Marco leading the way with 13 points. McKinnon, Beniers, and Tuch all with 12 in 10. Chikrin with 9 in 10. Vinny Trocheck with 8. Schwartz with 7. Moss 6. Tarasenko, Miller, Rosein with 5. Mercer with 4 goals. Bear, Gambrel, Jiricek all with 3 points. Popov with a couple goals, including that empty netter. Pulak with a goal. Kozlov with nothing. See, I would want to swap up Popov and Mercer. Popov has only 1 even strength goal, while Mercer has 4. But Mercer's doing well where he is, and Popov's doing well where he is. I don't want to mess anything up. I know somehow he has no assists, despite his 99 passing and playing with a player who has 12 points in Matty Beniers. Only 1 being on the power play. So that means 1 power play goal, 2 power play points. That means 10 even strength points from Beniers and no assists on any of those 6 goals or 5 even strength goals, whatever, to Vitaly Popov. So I'd want to switch up him and Dawson Mercer, but we just took down the Ducks in 5 and the Oilers in 5. We're 10-2. I don't want to touch anything. Speaking of 8-2 through 10 games, Peyton Wilm 8-2-0, a .918 save percentage. Definitely took a hit, but still solid enough. And 2.62 goals against average. We are cruising through these first 2 rounds, but we can't stop yet. We're only halfway there. Let's rest up, get some naps in there, eat well, relax on the couch a little bit, and I'll call you when I have our opponent. And headed into the Western Conference Finals, we will be taking on the Colorado Avalanche, who only went 38, 34, and 10 in the regular season. Wow. And it's going to be an original 6 matchup in the Eastern Conference, Maple Leafs versus Red Wings. Whew, baby. So we are now in what, our fourth consecutive, is it conference finals? Or I might be remembering that wrong, but it's at least our third, as we're definitely, as obviously we won the Stanley Cup the last 2 years. We are once again deep in the playoffs, taking on a Colorado Avalanche team that didn't do crazy things in the regular season, but enough to get themselves to this point. Of course, there's history between the two teams, as Nathan McKinnon left in free agency. They didn't have enough money to sign him because they had to give big money to their captain, Gabriel Landeskog, who we could have taken from them in the expansion draft, but did not because they compensated us with a draft pick and Martin Kaut. But first line is Peyton Baines, their third overall pick in 2024. 5-star shooting sniper, centered by Alex Newhook and Mikko Rantanen on that right wing. Second line, Bertuzzi, Sharangovich, and Landeskog. Third line, Fabry, Tyson Jost, who was just traded today in the real world to Minnesota for Marco Sturm, and Jonas Donskoy, who is a real-life Seattle Kraken but hasn't played for us in this world. Fourth line, Kajula, Kopp, and Nemesnikov. Very strong forwards, I do have to say. Good wingers on that left side for sure. Decent center depth as well. Defensively, it's Samuel Girard with Bowen Byram on the first pair. Then it drops off, though. Eric Gustafsson with Samuel Sjöland. And then the third pair, it's Lucas Cormier with John Ludwig. Gotta say, I don't really know these players. And then between the pipes, they have 90 overall Connor Hellebuck and 78 overall Taylor Gauthier. So we did take on the Avalanche, I believe, was it last year on our way to the Stanley Cup? No, it was last year, that's true. Or maybe it was the year before, but I remember Hellebuck having really bad numbers and we made them even worse. We beat them in the first round of last year or the first round of the year before, but I do think it was last year. 887 save percentage, but he's, Hellebuck notorious for having bad numbers in the playoffs in the simulation. He's 8-1-1 with a 938 save percentage and 1.97 goals against average. So let's try and remind him of what we did last year, the year before, whatever it was. We know how to break through Connor Hellebuck. Let's do it again. Cale Makar, that's who's missing. 5 points in 10 games, and he is currently injured. Yeah, solid offensive numbers year in and year out. Mason Shaw, former Seattle Kraken, and Shane Pinto as the healthy scratches. So defense is weak, goaltending is strong, and the forwards are definitely out there. 5 goals for Peyton Baines, 9 points for Newhook, 9 points for Rantanen, 11 points for Landeskog, 9 for Sharangovich, 8 for Bertuzzi. So we've seen these guys before, we've beaten them before, but not under these circumstances. I do want to see the injury report, though, for how long Cale Makar will be out. And he will be out for injured knee returning May 16th. So I'm not sure if that's playable injury or fully healed, but that's 4 more days. He won't be gone for too long, but they will be starting the series without him. I guess that accounts for some of their weak defense, and it will get a little bit stronger with Cale Makar, definitely. His ability cannot be understated. So let's do it. Seattle Kraken, Colorado Avalanche, Game 1 of the 2027 Western Conference Finals. To get here, the Avalanche swept the Stars and took down the Predators in 6, so they are also 8-2. So maybe Nathan McKinnon, with a little bit of a chip on his shoulder, will give us the edge. He wants a 3rd consecutive cup with the team that gave him the money that Colorado couldn't. Let's do it. First period action, 1-0 Colorado. Newhook opening it up on the power play. Second period now, 1-1 as Vladimir Tarasenko brings us back into it. Shots tied at 20, score tied at 1. The captain from a short angle, no less. And we're headed into this third period. Tied at 1, but Nathan McKinnon, there he is against his old team, putting us up 2-1, and Keandre Miller just less than a minute and a half after that, making it 3-1 Kraken. We're up by 2, but Sharangovich cuts that lead to 1, as it's now 3-2 halfway through this third period. Shots 29-23, power play Kraken now, killed off by the Avalanche. Under 5 to go. Both teams pushing hard with the shots 32-24, but the Kraken hang on tight for the 3-2 victory. Keandre Miller's goal ends up being the game winner, 2 in the third period. First star honors for him, second star for Nathan McKinnon, and 23 saves from Peyton Wilm on film. Great work right there. As it's a narrow victory for sure, but let's see if we can, shake off some of those jitters. We were lying on the couch maybe a little bit too much. No, we were working hard on the ice. We were pushing. We were watching tape. We know how to beat these guys. Let's shift into next gear for this next game now, because we did crazy things against Edmonton. We can do them now against the Avalanche. Just take advantage of Makar being out of the lineup. First period of game 2, 0-0. Second period now, early goal and 3-0. Isaiah Marco scoring twice to open up that second period, then Matty Beniers making it 3-0. We're out shooting Colorado 24-22, but we have been clinical in our chances as the score is 3-0. Into this third period, Kajula down on that fourth line, giving the Avalanche some life as he scores the first one for the Avalanche, 43 minutes into this one. Power play Avalanche, halfway through the third, killed off by the Kraken. We're now being outshot 32-30, but we're still ahead by 2 with under 5 to go. Power play Avalanche once again. Are they pulling the goalie? Not enough. Under a minute to go. Hold on, Samuel Girard brings the Avalanche within 1. Final 30 seconds. Schwartz adds the empty netter, and we avoid the late game heroics from the Avalanche, winning it 4-2 the final. Shots end 35-32 for the Avalanche, as they were really pushing hard at the end there. 2 goals from Isaiah Marco gets him first star honors. Another big 33 save performance night for Peyton Wilm, once again getting a star. And Matty Beniers with a goal and an assist, 4-2 Kraken to put us up 2-0 in this series, taking both games at home. 16 points through 12 games for Isaiah Marco. 2-0 series lead for the Leafs. Keep that in mind against the Red Wings right now. Are we on a collision course for them? But we can't be thinking about that just yet. We have a job to do here in the Western Conference Finals. Again, I don't think there's much for me to touch up on. We've only scored, 3, minus the empty net goal last game. So we've scored 6 goals in 2 games. Still good, but not quite the 5, 6 we were scoring per game against Edmonton. Speaking of defense, is Cale Makar back in the lineup here? Yes, he will be. So Gerard Makar as the top pair, Byram Ciolin as the second, Gustafson Cormier as the third. That's definitely going to have an impact offensively and defensively, so we can't let up now. Changes are possible. Like I said, we could swap Mercer and Popov and all that, but the defense has been clicking. The offense has been solid. This is the first postseason in a long time where I really haven't touched anything since whatever we decided to start in game 1 of round 1. So in Colorado, game 3, round 3, up 2-0 in the series. Let's hit it. First period, 1-0 Kraken. There he is, Dawson Mercer. He's going to have a big role on this team next season. He's going to be a middle 6 guy. He's going to be off that 4th line for good, as there's going to be more spots in the lineup, and I can't wait to see what he can do. Second period now, and it's 2-1 as Kajula ties it up, but then Alex Tuck in the dying minute 46 restores the lead. 34-18 are the shots in our favor. We are up by 1. Hellebuck making miracles to not have his team go down 3-0 in the series, but they aren't giving him a lot of support. And there it is. Sharangovich ties this game up at 2, as we are yet to register a shot. There it is now, 35-23, about 6 minutes in. Took us a while to get going in the third period as Colorado is coming out hot. 7 minutes to go now. We're close to 40 shots on net. Power play Seattle. This could be it. Killed off by the Avalanche. 2 minutes to go now. Do we have a late here in the final 30 seconds? No. Shots 40-28 through 3 periods, and now we are headed to overtime. Overtime here at Ball Arena in Colorado. A goal for Nathan McKinnon and the Kraken will put his team up 3-0. And here he comes. Can't get that one through traffic, but a goal for the Avalanche will make this series 2-1 in Seattle's favor and give them a little bit of life. Baines given a great look. Newhook tries to get through, but Wim gets a piece of that one. Rantanen to Newhook off the post. That one comes out to Pulak, who's going to get that one out quickly to McKinnon. McKinnon over the red line, skates backwards, gives it to Tuck. Big power forward Alex Tuck to Ryan Pulak. Can't quite get the shot off. Jaden Schwartz leading the charge into the Avalanche territory. That's a filthy blindside from Tyler Bertuzzi. My goodness, no call. Back the other way, and he gets blindsided himself by Ethan Bear. Just flopping around on the ice. Up to Schwartz, over to Popov now. Little move into the corner. Back to the point, Ethan Bear. Keandre Miller to Popov, one-timer. Hellebuck slides across and saves that one. Great couple of minutes there. Matty Beniers leads into Colorado territory. To Jaden Schwartz, big kick save, sprawling out is Connor Hellebuck, and he dives to save that one and just get the whistle. I'm looking for a set play here, boys. Looking for a set play. Trocheck wins it back. Miller, Moss can't quite get it through. I think I hit Byram's stick. Tarasenko in the corner now with a triangle of players around him. Trocheck in front. Hellebuck's going to hang on. Hold on. No, passes it out to Jost. And now up to Byram. Byram over the red line and into Seattle territory. He's a big boy. Gets it to Jost. That's a weird one. Just got a little deflection on it. And Wilm was going across the crease and it just goes wide. Trocheck back the other way now. The third finds his way through that mess of people. Moss in the corner. Trocheck picks it up. Moss again. Tarasenko one-timer. Stopped by Hellebuck. First lines are out now for the offensive zone face-off. Mckinnon against Newhook. Mckinnon wins it back to Pulak. Chikrin down to Tuck. Over to Isaiah Markov. Nice lane. Big blocker save. Huge reactionary save there from the blocker of Connor Hellebuck. Car across to Girard to Rantanen. Oh, that's unfortunate. That is very unfortunate. Just a little set play there. Cycling the puck around. Shot put on net from the point. Hits off Newhook. Trickles past Peyton Wilm. And that'll be an overtime victory for the Avalanche. Girard, Rantanen, no one even reacts aside from the player who scored. Always love those EA robots. Hits off his leg, inside of his thigh even. That's an unfortunate one. Peyton Wilm was playing very well. The team was fighting hard. Hey, look, the shots ended 48 to 32. And we dropped that one 3-2. That is quite unfortunate. We were the better team in this one. The Avalanche get it, but we'll just have to come back stronger. Another game decided by 1 goal as we are now up 2-1 in this series. The Red Wings are on the brink of being swept by the Toronto Maple Leafs. Let's try and get there, my friends. Let's try and get there. I keep saying the Red Wings. The Maple Leafs are waiting for us. Let's take down these Avalanche. We know that we've been better than them. We just need to materialize it. We need to speak it into reality. Let's go. First period, 1-1. McKinnon on the power play and Jonas Donskoy tying it back up. Second period, 2-1. Okay, the captain, Vladimir Tarasenko, he's on the power play for a reason. Out shooting Colorado 22-17. The offense, we got to come through. We got to break through Connor Hellebuck. We know that he's been a fraud at times. We know how to break through him. There we go. Power play, Matty Beniers. Let's take advantage of these power play goals. We've done quite well in the special teams in this postseason. Let's go. Up by 2 with 12 minutes to go now. Alex Newhook bringing the Avalanche within 1 halfway through the period. Power play Seattle once more. And Nathan McKinnon with another power play goal. The special teams have been on fire. Power play Colorado. We kill it off. Up by 2 with a minute to go. Landeskog adds one with 18 seconds left. And we hang on tight. Wow. So 4 goals on 35 shots, and then we allow 3 goals on 27 shots, but we once again win the game by 1 goal. 2 goals and an assist for former Avalanche Nathan McKinnon, a goal and 2 assists for Matty Beniers, and a goal and an assist for Alex Newhook. 4-3 the final, and the Kraken are now up 3-1 in this Western Conference Finals. Ryan Pulak's separated shoulder out until basically the preseason. Oh no, Ryan Pulak, man, he has been very good, very, very solid. He has an A on his jersey for a reason, a huge part of our blue line for the last 2 Stanley Cups. We'll try and get you that ring, buddy. Oh man, he had 1 assist, only 1 goal, but was a +6 and was responsible for about 22.5 minutes a night. So that's going to hurt for sure. So the scratch coming in, that means Hayden Fleury's going to get some ice time. Has he played much playoff time with us the last couple Stanley Cup runs here? Yeah, he's played. Okay, yeah, he was there the first year. In 2025, he played 23 games. Did not get a ring, I suppose. No, because he didn't play at all, I don't think, in 2026. So he has 1 ring, and he'd love to get a second. So he'll be drawing into the lineup. Let me fix up the defensive pairs here, because now playing with Jake Chikrin will either be Ethan Bear or Keandre Miller. Miller, 6 points and a +9, 4 points and a +9 for Bear. I think they both have the same fit on that. No, you know what? Miller fits a bit better, and he's been playing exceptionally well. So I'm going to go Chikrin, Miller, Bear, Jiricek, and Kozlov, Fleury. All right, that's all taken care of. So Hayden Fleury pretty much just playing third pair defense, as Keandre Miller filling in for most of the holes that Ryan Pulock leaves on penalty kill, 4-man penalty kill, 3-man penalty kill, stuff like that. So we'll keep rolling like this. Not the end of the world, as Miller filling in a lot of those spots is fantastic, but I would have much rather had him on that top pair with Chikrin, because they have been fantastic together ever since Chikrin was acquired. He will now play with Keandre Miller. It was another tight one-goal game, so we got to stay consistent. The Red Wings getting swept out by the Toronto Maple Leafs. They're in the Stanley Cup Finals, the Toronto Maple Leafs are, and we are 1 win away. We are still in Colorado. We are up 3-1 in this series for game number 5 now. Excuse me, what am I saying? We're back at home at the Clement Pledge Arena. 18 points in 14 games for Nate McKinnon. He would love to get a few more to close out his old team and push the Kraken through to their 3rd consecutive Stanley Cup Finals. Let's do it on home ice. First period, 1-0 Kraken. Chris Moss, the sniper, puts us up 1-0. Okay, that's what we like to see. Let's keep adding to it offensively here. Second period, Trocheck already has one. After 40, we're up 4-0. Marco and Gambrel, 4 goals on 23 shots. We are finding a way through Connor Hellebuck. 15 saves so far for Peyton Wilm. We're up 4-0 in the final 20 minutes. We are just 20 minutes away from a 3rd consecutive Stanley Cup Final, this time up against the Maple Leafs. Donskoy brings the Avalanche within 3. Power play Kraken, and Alex Tuch restores our 4-goal lead against Gauthier, who's now in nets. Makar once again bring that lead down to 3, but we still have quite a cushion with only 5 minutes to go. Shots 32-26. Final 2 minutes now. Final minute, and ladies and gentlemen, for the 3rd consecutive season, the Seattle Kraken are through to the Stanley Cup Final. 33-28 with the shots in the end. 5-2 the final. Goal and assist for Vinny Trocheck. 3 assists from Dawson Mercer and 2 assists from Jake Chikrin. Ladies and gentlemen, your Seattle Kraken. Wow. Wow, wow, wow. Another series of getting it done in 5 games. 4-1, 4-1, and 4-1. We are 12-3 through those 3 rounds. The Toronto Maple Leafs are coming off a sweep. Are they a little bit, do they have a little bit more wear after the first 2 rounds? Went to 7 against the Sabres. Took down the Bruins in 5, though. So they are 12-4. As we'll meet them here in the Stanley Cup Final. But before we get there, let's check out our player stats through these 3 rounds. 19 points in 15 games for Nate McKinnon. Beniers and Marco with 18 points apiece. Alex Tuch with 16. Jake Chikrin, almost point per game. The defensive defenseman. Even while he's listed as a 2-way D, right? Yeah, but still, this guy is not known for offense in the simulation. He's almost point per game. Trocheck has 11 and 15. Schwartz 10. Tarasenko 4 goals, 9 points. Moss with the same. Mercer with 8. Miller, Roseyan with 6. Gambrel, Jiricek with 5. Bear with 4. Popov 3. Pulock with his 1 goal. Fleury in that 1 game, zeros across. Only played 1 minute and 33 minutes? What? I don't know, maybe he was injured or just like pulled the Montreal Canadiens where they played only their first 2 pairs. And Kozlov still with no points, but is a +2. Peyton Wilm through 3 rounds is 12-2-1, 918 save percentage, and 2.51 goals against average. He has the support of Ben Bishop on that bench. Could not get any better. So getting to the Maple Leafs lines now, if you do remember, when we won our first Stanley Cup back in 2025, we swept the Toronto Maple Leafs out of the Stanley Cup Finals. It was Ian Scott, I believe, between the pipes for the Maple Leafs, 81 overall or so. Let's see if they've improved that at all. They had Matthews, they had Nylander. It was a strong team, and yeah, definitely still very strong. And if you're also curious, last year when we won the Cup was against the Carolina Hurricanes in 5 games. So the first Cup took us 4, the second Cup took us 5. Let's see what we can do here for number 3. But first we got to get through this team, and it's a strong one. Nylander, Matthews, and Marner on that first line. They definitely score points, that's for sure. But Jonathan Marchessault leading the playoffs in points with 22 and 16. He's been a monster out there. He's on the second line with Sam Steele and Jordan Greenway. Third line is Neighbors, Frost, and Sherwood. Fourth line is Rustalainen, Nick Robertson, and Victor Rask. Defensively, they have Riley with Dermott, Sandin with Zadorov, and Fehervary, and John Merrill, 35 years of age. Goaltending, let's see it. It is 87 overall Mackenzie Blackwood, signed to a pretty reasonable contract. Man, okay. Not the craziest numbers, though. He's backed up by Jyrki Pessonen. Scratches here, we got Merkley, Rasmussen, legend in the Buffalo Sabres franchise, and Jani Koskinen. So they have a very strong offense. Defense is okay, and goaltending seems to be okay as well. But that top six, similar to the Oilers, just leading the way in just about every regard. So that's what's going to make it difficult here against the Maple Leafs. We did it once. Let's see if we can do it again 2 years later. Some of those players remember that sting of getting swept out of the Cup Finals. Let's see if we can keep this up. First, we got to get to the round, relax a little bit, couple days off. Yeah, 1 day off. Fantastic. The Maple Leafs went 49, 24, and 9 on the regular season, so they get home ice advantage. We're starting it off at Scotiabank Arena, and the fans are going to be rabid, to say the least. Let's do it. Game 1 of the 2027 Stanley Cup Final. Third consecutive finals for the Seattle Kraken. Here we go. Buckle up. First period, Rask opens up the scoring 3-2. My goodness. Rask on the fourth line, then Marner and Steele. 3 goals against within the first, 7 minutes and 13 seconds. Chikrin stops the bleeding, and Alex Kozlov scores his first of the postseason, maybe his first ever postseason goal. Actually, you know what? He scored last year in the Stanley Cup Finals. I remember that. So, one of his first ever playoff goals and his first of this postseason. Only down 3-2. Outshot 14-7, but to allow 3 goals on 14 shots and within the first 7 minutes, that's scary stuff. 3-2 game, though. Let's try and regroup here into the second period. No scoring. Shots 23-12. We barely had anything in the second. Let's wake up, boys. Let's wake up. Third period, here we go. Down by 1. Let me see the big dogs. Let those big dogs eat. Let's go. Let's see who's hungry. Who's hungry? Shots 29-17. Let's wake up. Here we go. 18 shots. 19 shots. Come on. Let's go. Find one through Mackenzie Blackwood. Jordan Greenway makes it 4. Yeah, well, we can't expect them to never score. We got to get one fast. We did nothing in this third period, and we lose 4-2. Oh, my goodness. Shots 34-23. We got embarrassed. Embarrassed. Just the second time in franchise history that we lose a game in the Stanley Cup Finals. Embarrassed. 3 assists from Nylander. We lose 4-2. Yikes. Come on, boys. What was that? What was that? See, I'm not going to panic and make changes. It's only our 3rd loss of the entire postseason. But, like I said, some of those changes that we were keeping in mind may come if this is another embarrassing game like that. It wasn't that we lost 4-2. It's that we were getting destroyed in the shots and embarrassed through the first 2 periods especially. Let's wake up here in front of the home fans, in Toronto's home fans. Don't let them take 2 at home. Tie it back up at 1. Let's restart and call it a best of 5. Let's go, boys. We know we have it in us. Let's do it. First period action in Toronto. 1-0, Matty Beniers. Okay, the special teams is there. Power play goal. Second period now, 3-1. So McKinnon scores short-handed, then adds another one exactly 2 minutes later, making it 3-1. Sorry, no, 3-0. Then Sam Steele cuts our lead to 2. Shots 30-16 in our favor. There's the offense, as now we are the ones almost doubling Toronto's shots, and we're up by 2 headed into the third period thanks to the 2 goals in that second from Nathan McKinnon. Third period action now. Power play Toronto early on. We kill it off. Close to doubling their shots. 33-18, 34. We're not quite at the double mark. Come on, let's get to double. No, we're not going to quite get there as Toronto's starting to pull away a little bit from the double. We're still up by 2 with 5 minutes to go. 38-23, and that'll be all she wrote. An uneventful third period. Shots end 38-25. We keep Toronto at bay. McKinnon with the 2 goals. Wilm gets second star honors with 24 saves. Sam Steele had 1 for the Maple Leafs. Anaheim Ducks NHL 20 legend. But just what we needed to do, tying this series up at 1. Thank you very much. And we're headed back home with this series being a best of 5, starting over with us being the ones with the advantage. That's what we like to see. Climate Pledge Arena, Game 3 of the Stanley Cup Final. Let's get this party started in Seattle. First period, 3-1. Oh, with 2 shorthanded goals. The special teams, I am telling you. Tuck and Mercer with 2 shorthanded goals, probably on the same penalty. 13-17 and 11-58. 13-17 and 11-58. 13-17. We brought down to 2. So it was, what, 4 seconds of 5-on-3 as well? No, but they were both, it was different penalties, but they overlapped a little bit there. Wow, okay. So 2 shorthanded goals. Sam Steele gets the Leafs back in it once again, but then Nathan McKinnon doing what he does best and restoring the 2-goal lead as we are now up 3-1. Shots 10-8 for Toronto, but we're up by 2. I wonder if that's a postseason record right there with 2 shorthanded goals so close to each other in a Stanley Cup Final. Second period action now, 4-1. Nathan McKinnon, second of the night. He wants that 3rd ring. He's been amazing so far against the Maple Leafs. 23-15 are the shots in our favor. We're up by 3, headed into this 3rd and final period of game number 3. 5-1 as Alex Kozlov scores his 2nd of the series and his 2nd in 3 games. That's a crazy pace for him. Sam Steele, it seems to be the only player who can score for the Maple Leafs. His 2nd of the night makes it 5-2. Trocheck restores our 4-goal lead. 6-2 Kraken with under 5 to go. And that will be it, ladies and gentlemen. And one more for good measure. Ethan Bear with 1.5 minutes to go. 7-2 the final. The extra point is good. Shots ended 35-23. Tuck with a goal and 2 assists. McKinnon with 2 goals. And good old Jake Chikrin with 2 assists. Gotta say, that was a great acquisition for us. GM data. He gets paid for a reason, ladies and gentlemen. 23 points in 18 games for Nathan McKinnon. And now we are up 2-1 in this series with another game at home. Huge offensive output. That is exactly what we need to be doing game in and game out. We have the ability to do so. We have the firepower to do so. We just need the will to do so. Beat your chest and get out there, boys. First period, 0-0. Shots 12-6, doubling in our favor. Second period, early goal, but 2-2. Keandre Miller scores quickly, but Rask comes right back just as quickly. Jane Schwartz makes it 2-1, and Greenway ties it up. Shots 23-13 through 40, but we are tied at 2 into this 3rd and final period of this 4th game. Can we go up 3-1 in this series as we have done in other series? Power play killed off, and Isaiah Marco scoring just as our shorthanded burst there. The penalty killers come off. Marco goes on, and it's 3-2 Kraken with 5 minutes to go now. Shots 31-21. We're up by 1. Is that goal enough to give us the victory on home ice? And yes, it is, as McKinnon adds another one past Blackwood. Shots 34-25, and the Kraken win 4-2. Oh my goodness, McKinnon a goal and 2 assists. He wants that Conn Smythe. A goal and assist for Marco, a goal and an assist for Miller. Ladies and gentlemen, your Seattle Kraken are 1 game away from a 3rd consecutive Stanley Cup. The three-peat is at the tip of our fingers. We're reaching, we're stretching, it's right there. On Toronto's home ice at the Scotiabank Arena, can we end it after taking them out in 4 2 years ago? Can we take them out in 5 in front of their fans? Once again in front of their fans. Can we do it for a 3rd consecutive cup? And to do it in 20 games, we won our last cup in 23 games. Excuse me, the first cup in 23 games, last cup in 22 games. Can we do this one in 20 games? Victor Rask says no as he scores on the first shot of the night. First period ends 3-2 in our favor as McKinnon, Schwartz, and Marco, those are the names we've been saying all night long, come right back. And Sandin scores one, stop the bleeding, but it is 3-2 Kraken after 20 shots, 18-13 for Toronto. Second period now, 5-2. Oh my goodness, another shorthanded goal! Dawson Mercer and then shorthanded Matty Beniers. Shots are 31-24 for Toronto. They're giving everything they have, but we have 5 goals past, who even is it, against Mackenzie Blackwood. We're up by 3. Power play Toronto. We kill that off. They're putting everything they have on net. They also have 40 shots, but Isaiah Marco makes it 6-2 when they're doing so much. We just take away any momentum they have in Matty Beniers, 7-2. That's it, my friends. That is it. Let's hop in and see it. 50 seconds left to go. 7-2 here in game number 5, my friends. What a year. Not, we weren't at 500 at the halfway point, but we weren't too many games above 500. things weren't looking crazy for us, as we were having some struggles. The offense was not great. The defense, though, got a huge upgrade in that Jake Chikrin acquisition. We did our due diligence. We did our homework. We picked up the right guy. It cost us, you know, it cost draft pick, prospect, and all that. But we will have a third consecutive Stanley Cup. We are officially a dynasty. The first team to do this since the Islanders of the early 80s. And there it is, Lord Stanley getting ready. The Maple Leafs. They saw Stanley Cup as the Leafs won the Cup in 2021 or 2022, I think, in the simulation. But they have now had to see their team lose the Cup on home ice 2 of the last 3 seasons, as they've had, you know, their players coming through, but Matthews, Marner, Nylander, the big dogs, only 1 Cup with all that talent. Oh my goodness, 5 seconds left. Your 2027 Stanley Cup champions are the Seattle Kraken. 3 consecutive cups. We are a dynasty. For some, it's their first. For a few, it's their second. But for the majority, it is their 3rd Stanley Cup, as this core has stayed together. Some players have been here since the very first day of this organization, since the expansion draft. Schwartz, Tarasenko, even Hayden Fleury, who's out there. I'm trying to think who's been here the entire time off the top of my head, but Dylan Gambrell. A lot of rookies who have seen all 3 cups. Marco has seen all 3 cups now in, what, his 3rd or 4th season. The defense has been great. Kozlov has a couple cups. Wilm with another ring. Ben Bishop at 40 years of age going to get another ring as well. So many great stories on this team. Trocheck, who we, again, I say it all the time, I thought we signed him to a 4-year deal or 3-year deal. I thought he was going to stay, 4-year deal. I thought he was going to stay for 1 or 2 years. Now he just finished his 5th season with the team and has 3 rings. It's going to be tough to move on from a lot of these players, but it makes it easier knowing that we're sending them off with 3 Stanley Cup rings. It's going to be a tough off season. So I think the Conn Smythe has to go to Nate McKinnon. Tarasenko, the captain, 35 years of age. We brought him here to the team from St. Louis in the expansion draft. And exactly, Nathan McKinnon winning the Conn Smythe, his 2nd in as many years. Very well. We'll see his stats afterwards. Very well done. Let's get Gary out here. Well, hello, Toronto! Massive boos coming in. Boo! They're sick of Gary. He's just smiling back at them. Well, Seattle, we're starting to get used to this, aren't we? Boo! It is my honor to call over the captain of this great organization who's done something that no other team has done for the last 5 decades. Vladimir Tarasenko, come and get the Stanley Cup. And he raises it over his head for the 3rd time. We brought him over from St. Louis. We promised him the big contract. We promised him the captaincy. And he once again raises the Stanley Cup over his head. Keandre Miller, who was disrespected by the Rangers. We signed him we acquired his rights as an RFA. Gave him a contract. Tons of ice time in this postseason. Great comment there, Rocky Mountain Russian, to get him up to that 2nd pair. Filled in for Pulak on the 1st pair. I'm not sure who this guy is here. Is that Ethan Bear? Yes, it is. Ethan Bear, who's been here. Another player that we acquired his rights to because he was disrespected by his team. He's been here for all 3 cups. He's been here since year number 2, I believe. Wow. So many great stories in this organization. 3 consecutive cups. And it took a lot of hard work. It took a lot of little tweaks and little changes, and it was all worth it. We're very proud of this team that we have put together, my friends. All the assistant GMs helping out. Peyton Hollywood Wilm, 23 years of age and 3 Stanley Cup rings, I believe. Correct? He definitely, because he's just the backup to Bishop. But everybody get in there, crowd around center ice, around Lord Stanley, 3rd Stanley Cup, get your pictures, take out your phone, snap a shot. It will last a lifetime. Shots end 43-35, but 41 saves from Peyton Hollywood Wilm. Put up a Conn Smythe type postseason run. A huge reason for why we were able to win the Stanley Cup. Could not have done it without him. He played every minute along the way. We got to take a moment to look at these stats. 28 points, 16 goals through 20 games for Nathan McKinnon. What a tank. He has just been lights out. Another 5-game series. That means all time in the Stanley Cup Finals last 3 years, the Kraken are 12-2 in Stanley Cup Final games. Isaiah Marco, 24 points. Beniers, 23. Tuck, 22. Chikrin ends over a point per game. 21 points in 20 playoff games, when there are many seasons with the Coyotes where he barely hit 21 points. I love this man. Schwartz had 14 in his swan song. Trocheck 13 in likely his swan song as well. Dawson Mercer 7 goals and 11 points. Vladimir Tarasenko at the age of 35, only 4 goals and 11 points, but a monster. Moss had 10 points. Miller 9 points and a plus 19. Gambrel 7 points. He was an original Kraken, one of the few remaining original Kraken. Rosein 7 points, Bear 6 points and a plus 10, Yerchek 6 assists, Popov 5 points plus 4, Kozlov with 2 goals, 3 points and a plus 4, 2 rings for the 6'5", 229-pound defenseman, first round pick, 27th overall in 2025. Fleury 2 assists and a plus 2 through 6 games. He gets another ring. Pulak has had that 1 goal and a plus 6 in 14 games. Peyton Hollywood Wilm, let's see it. 16, 3, and 1. No shutouts, but a 920 save percentage and 2.48 goals against average. Maybe not Conn Smythe numbers, but like I said, it would not have been possible without him, especially in that last game where he shut down the Leafs and captured our third Stanley Cup. My brain is gone. My mouth is finished. Not much else I can say. What we can do is just advance for a few days because we can check out the awards as the Lightning fire their head coach now at the end of the season. And once we see an AHL champion, I will also be able to go and Milwaukee Admirals, the Nashville Predators AHL affiliate, winning the Calder Cup. Then I'll update the scouting before we head to the draft. Take a look at some final decisions and then call it a day. So 3 consecutive Stanley Cups for the Seattle Kraken. Only 1 President's Trophy along the way, as the Oilers won the President's Trophy this year and we took them down in the second round. 3 consecutive Cup appearances. It's been Leafs and Hurricanes basically the last 4 years in the Eastern Conference, and even more because the Leafs won the 2022 Cup, I believe. So a lot of Cup finals, but only 1 Cup to show for it. Individual awards now, let's see it. Leon Draisaitl winning the Art Ross. He had a crazy year, also winning the Hart. So the Hart the last few years has been McDavid, Draisaitl, McKinnon, Draisaitl. James Norris going to Adam Boquist, Lady Byng to Patrick Kane, Calder to Walton, Conn Smythe to Nathan McKinnon for his second in as many years, Vezina going to Carter Hart, Jennings to Rodrigue and Anderson, Masterton to Gooley, Jack Adams to the coach of the Vegas Golden Knights for the second consecutive year, Selke going to Barkov, breaking O'Reilly's back-to-back there, Ted Lindsay to Draisaitl, and Maurice Richard to Austin Matthews. In the AHL, Asher Maloney winning the equivalent of the Art Ross and the Hart. Any other awards? Bergenheim winning the equivalent of the Calder. He'll be looking for NHL minutes next season. Yeah, so we have a lot of good players in the system who will replace guys like Schwartz and Trocheck, but it's tough to move on from them because they have been such huge parts of our 3 consecutive Cups. So I'd love to keep them, but it's, as I'm sure many of you will agree with down in the comments, it's just not really a possibility for us anymore. We can only keep guys like Rosein and Mercer down there for so long, especially with them getting up there in age. So I'm going to go ahead and update the scouting reports, and I'll see you closer to the draft to make some final decisions before we call it an episode. So zooming towards the draft now, the salary cap up to $100.5 million. The world is doing well economically. Always great to hear that. The Coyotes jumping from 9 to 1 in the draft lottery. St. Louis dropping 1 to 2, and Calgary 2 to 3. Big jump for them. Draft class, we'll see that in a moment. Retired players in 2027. Who's calling it a career? Alexander Ovechkin, at the age of 41, goes out with 1,009 goals and 1,836 points in 1,688 games. Was still an 87 overall. Still could have done it. Those are some wild numbers. Some of the best I've seen from him in simulation. Evgeny Malkin with over a point per game at 1,510 in 1,432 games with Ottawa. 40 years of age, still an 81 overall. Anze Kopitar, Nicholas Backstrom, Eric Stahl at the age of 42. That's the latest I've seen him go, I think. Logan Couture, TJ Oshie, Victor Hedman with an early retirement at the age of 36, still an 83 overall. Eric Carlson, Chris Letang, John Carlson, Roman Yossi, a lot of big names. Jordan Stahl, Alex Radulov, Simmons, Zuccarello, Krug, Killorn, Fowler, Letty, Henrique, Spurgeon, Schultz. I'm going quite far down the list because there's a lot of big names. Petrie, Myers, Gardner, Sheary, Vatanen, Connolly, Dzingel, and now we're getting into some of the other ones. But Big retirement class here in 2027. Goaltending, is Ben Bishop calling it a career? Yes, he is. So is Marc-Andre Fleury at the age of 42. Over 1,000 games played, 603 wins. What a legend, the Flower. Carey Price, also at the age of 39, calling it a career with 492 wins. But Ben Bishop at the age of 40, 655 games played, but 358 wins, 2 Stanley Cup rings, a .918 save percentage, 2.41 goals against average. What a career for Big Ben. And he is absolutely a candidate for jersey retirement, for Kraken Hall of Fame, maybe even for a statue as he put up those historic performances with us. Markstrom, Allen, Rantanen, Brossoit, some other names retiring there. But big retirement class here in the 2027 off-season. Hedman and Ovechkin are now coaches as well, so that's something to keep note of. Retired coaches, no one that we need to concern ourselves with. Fantastic. The staff can stay the same. Of course, by the way, it's our same staff that has 3 Stanley Cup rings now. So they, Cristiano Morrissey and Adriano, what was his name? Giordano? That was his last name? Adrian Giordano? Something like that. I'm trying to go back in the memory banks. But here, to close out the episode, let's do all that we got to do. Draft class, progress reports, and contract. So looking at draft class here, well, actually, first we should see where we're selecting. So we're picking at the end of round number 2, close to the end of round number 3, and then 2 more end picks of round number 4. Pretty much, yeah, then we have start of round 5, end of round 5. We can definitely use some of these picks, a second, a third, 2 fourths, 3 fifths, a sixth, and 2 sevenths with other prospects, the rights to players that we're not going to be re-signing. If we know for sure that Schwartz, Trocheck, etc. are not coming back, we can use those to move up for maybe 1 or 2 second-round picks, third-round picks, or even 1 big first-round pick if we see someone late. The scouts did a great job for uncovering players. Medium-elite playmaker going there at 13, who is 3 years away, though. Just taking a quick look at some of the bigger names, some of the bigger potentials, I guess, in this first round. A lot of medium top 6 forwards, medium top 9s, moving into the second round now, medium top 4D, back to 1, 2, 3, 4 guaranteed low elites going back to back right there. 2-way forward, 2-way D, 2-way forward, and power forward. 2 years away, 3 years away, 3 years away, and 3 years away. Okay. Then another low elite right after that. Medium elite goalie, Jeffrey Foss. Another medium elite goalie there. Low elite left wing, Grossman. Boy, some decent potential, actually. It's not a bad class in terms of depth potential. Low top 6 forwards, low top 6 forwards, low top 4D, now moving to the 60s and the 70s. So we could definitely get a solid draft pick, whether it be trading up or not, with some of the potential that's out here. I'm just going to take a quick look and go through and see any of the players that are NHL ready between picks like 1 and 50. So Smaby, and Laurent Dubois, both NHL ready. This guy's an offensive defenseman, medium top 4D. Very interesting attributes here with the shooting, puck skills, senses, everything. Great prospect there. Doubt we're going to be trading up for a guy like him, but just to make note. NHL ready as well for Colin Hensick, defensive defenseman, medium top 4. Last thing we need are NHL ready defensemen, though. That's just about it. There is this defenseman here at 36, Oleg Safronov, who's 1 year away, but everyone else in the class, aside from like the top 5, are pretty much 2, 3, 4 years away. Just sorting by potential to see some of the later gems out here, because like I said, the scouts did tell us quite a bit. We have some 3-bar medium elites going late. Guaranteed medium elite goalie, Cole Kelly. We'll definitely draft him at 135. We're not going to waste a second-round pick or 50s on the goalie if those guys are available. A lot of low elites are out here. Some in the 200s. Look at that. The scouts definitely came through. It'll be a good draft. It'll be a good draft. Just the question is, do we think about trading up at all, or are we just content with the guys that we're able to draft with those 3rd, 4th, 5th round picks? Because look at these guys. 150th overall. Jason Williams. Here he is. We'll go ahead and select guys like him. So keep all that in mind. Low top 6s as well. 336 there. Another Popov to draft. That'll be Popov's brother, I suppose. We can draft him. So we should get some good talent without having to give up too much. But the question is, what pieces are we keeping and which are we moving on from? Because some of these prospects are pushing for the NHL. Nathan McKinnon now up to a 95 overall. Let's sort by overall here. Any other increases? Pretty much everyone at the same spot where they were. Schwartz down, down to an 85. I think he was in 86. Popov up to an 83. Is Matt Murray going to play in the NHL next year? I don't know. Cole Lind up to an 82, even though he didn't play. Chris Moss up to from an 80 to an 82. Gambrel up to an 81. How much of this is just by attributes? Not actually. What I'm trying to say is how much is natural, how much is statistical, and how much is morale. That's something to be aware of because it might change over the offseason. But Kovanov, who was in the AHL, is a 79 overall, is now up to an 81 overall. Does he make the NHL, or do we just move on from him? Asher Maloney still at an 80 despite having such a good season in the AHL. Rosein, Kozlov, Reese, Primo, Pasi Lume, a low elite, 5th round pick I think he was, now up to a 79 overall, so he'll be trying to make the NHL next year. Riker Evans, Heiskanen still stuck at a 79, Rickard Bergenheim at a 78, Tiny Morrison at a 78, Sloan at a 78. It's gonna be tough. It's gonna be tough. There's gonna be a lot of players pushing, depending on growth as well. Kobasu up to a 77, Lundberg still at a 76, Piper up to a 71. I think he was always there. Ninemaki up to a 70, Rolison up to a 68, 21 on the modifications there. Caleb Rolison, 6'5" defenseman. Yeah, not going to be easy. Goalies progressing as well. A few guys in the 60s here. Not going to be easy. So looking at the contracts now, last thing to take a quick little look at. We have a decent amount of cap space. Yeah, 15.96 million in cap space here. Trocheck, Schwartz, Lind, Fleury, Gamble. Not a ton of big names. Does Kovanov come back? Probably not, because we'd have to give him NHL minutes. We don't have really room for that, even though it would be nice. Trocheck would be asking for, yeah, he'd want quite a bit, actually. He'd want a good upgrade up to an 87 overall. Makes sense. So Trocheck, probably the #1 candidate for leaving, but then who becomes our third-line center? That's a big question for all of you. Jaden Schwartz would want in the around mid 3 millions. Wouldn't be bad, but just again, where would he go? Cole Lind didn't really play last season at all. He'd want 1.5 to 2 million. Hayden Fleury did not play much either. Do we just let him go, or do we keep stringing him along here? We have 14.66 in extension dollars. Dylan Gambrel, does he come back as our 4th-line center? Possibly, but we do have Lume. We do have Bergenheim, who could play wing or center. We do have Jamison Reese. Evans, Heiskanen, Morrison's going to get his contract. Moving to the goalies here. I want to see all goalies for a second. So Peyton Wilm, we do have to give him his extension. Actually, this is a reasonable contract right now. We could go 8 years at 9 point something million. Yeah, I'll probably send that one out to him and see what he thinks about that. Hopefully he takes it, because if not, it'll go up. But worst case, we just qualify him and get it done later on. In the system, we're probably going to we'll just let Primo walk, and we'll figure out something for the AHL. Hilpert, and we'll probably get signed, maybe him and Blatter. It'll be a bit of a downgrade on the AHL goaltending if we go to 66 and 62, but we can figure that out in the off season. Do we maybe spend some money and get a 3rd-line center? Because Trocheck, that's pretty expensive now, being up to an 87 overall. He's probably the #1 candidate to have to walk. So do we find a replacement within our organization, or do we look at the free agents? Of course, the pending free agents, often many of them do not actually go to free agency, but just looking at some of the centers who would be available, sorting by overall. In the 3rd-line center range, probably some names like this. I don't know if Batherson, Norris, Crosby, Sorelli, Kopp, Dano, William Karlsson, Tyler Sagan at the age of 35. So all ideas for us. So those will be all things that you can think about addressing down in the comments below, in the YouTube comments, or over in the Discord server. Link in the description for that. Ladies and gentlemen, your Seattle Kraken are 3-time, back-to-back-to-back consecutive 3-peat Stanley Cup champions. 2025, 26, and 27. 3 cups through 6 years, and we want more. We're going for 4. The core is, McKinnon, Marco, Chikrin now, Peyton Wilm. Those guys won't change, but the supporting cast, the middle 6, some of those guys are going to have to start changing, including the defense. I think that's the biggest thing I need to hear back from everybody about, because if Chikrin and Pulak are pair #1 and Bear and Miller are pair #2, that means Jiricek is relegated to the 3rd pair, which is really not ideal. And then who plays with him or plays with anyone on that 3rd pair? Is it, there it is, Kozlov, that's true. And that's not even thinking about potential growth from Evans, Morrison, Sloan, Kobasu. Any of those guys could be pushing for the NHL, but that's already 6 with Kozlov. So someone has to go, and even then, I wouldn't want Jiricek on the 3rd pair. I wouldn't even want Kozlov on the 3rd pair, depending on if he grows as well. If he's up to an 82 overall, I'd want him on that 2nd pair. So If Chikrin is someone who's definitely not moving, and so is Yurchek, that means we have 4 spots left and only 2 within the top 4 to fit in Bear, Pulak, Miller, and those other guys who are growing. So keep that in mind, because somebody will have to go after this season. If we're looking at the contracts, all of them are signed. Miller's only signed for 1 more year, but he was amazing. Pulak signed the longest of all those other ones that I just mentioned. Ethan Bear, 4.85 for 2 more seasons. So if you want to know any more details about contracts and things like that, be sure to just ask, because I will get you the information that you need before you need to make a decision or leave your thoughts on that. That's why they pay me and why they pay you the big bucks as the GM and assistant GMs respectively. So once again, ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for taking the time to watch. What a Stanley Cup run, making it through the Oilers, taking down the Leafs again, and it's another Stanley Cup for the Kraken. Let me know how you're going to spend your day with the Cup. Leave a like if you enjoyed this wild roller coaster run, and be sure to subscribe if you haven't already to be made aware of all the uploads on the channel. A lot of data casts recently with a lot of trades, instant analysis, things around the deadline, the top 10 redrafts, FIFA 22 career mode, and much more. 3 Stanley Cups under our belt, but hungry for more and looking to stay strong moving into 2027-28. So looking forward to reading all your thoughts and seeing you once again in the next one.